Hi guys, a wee coffee and chat. Last one of the year probably. I've got Benji with me today, my wee old man, but he'll be happily sitting down there. If he falls asleep, you'll hear lots of snores and little cries because that's what he does when he's asleep. So anyway, probably going to be the last coffee and chat of 2022. And I just want to do so much more before the end of the year, but those of you that have been with me a long while know that I have a bit of a dodgy immune system, an autoimmune disease, and yeah, seem to have caught everything this winter. The last 2 weeks, I managed to catch slap cheek disease. Syndrome or disease. It's also known as fifth syndrome of a child. Adults aren't really meant to catch it, but I did. So everything kind of slowed down there. There were people that I was looking forward to visiting, but obviously just for one part it was infectious, and the other part I just was exhausted. However, it forced me to kind of rest, which it's bad that age 61 I should still be being forced by illness to rest, but you know what I mean. Sometimes it's nice to try and keep going with things, and maybe I do that too much at times, but this one certainly forced me. And let's put it this way, I kind of didn't need blusher. Oh, it was achy bones and stuff, though it really wasn't nice. So we're going to take a wee bit extra care over the winter. You know, we're not going out to many places, and even the COVID's going up a bit here, but even without that, with flu and all sorts of bugs, I'll probably still be putting a mask on, which I think is just sensible for anyone with dodgy immune systems. So I had so many things to do, things about Solstice, more mediumship or whatever, but I really am just, I've run out of time and run out of energy to do it. But I know that you'll understand that. And then I still got a wee bit of a sniffle actually, and sore head from whatever the fifth disease, but who knows, it could be another cold on top. I just seem to catch everything, and I mean I do, I know my herbal medicines, I know what to do, but at the moment it's just not so good. But the end of January I have to get more blood tests for autoimmune, and although I didn't have rheumatoid arthritis before, they want to test for it again. So I don't know, markers have gone up a bit again, so there we go. But I do love Christmas and Solstice, New Year, because I kind of feel like Solstice is more of a New Year for me. Let me know what you think down below, like in the comments. I start getting winter festival quite early, from the beginning of December, and that happened this year again, but I was too not well. But the house is decorated. My daughter came over and helped with that, and the tree's up, and we've got little trees, and I had been drying out since last year the pine cones and stuff for potpourri. So the house is smelling very cinnamon and eucalyptus, and it's lovely. So December for me tends to be quite an engaged month with I don't know, it's like making December magical, because it can be a very magical month. And even though I wasn't well, I was still aware that there was, twinkly lights in my bedroom, and there were, real twinkly lights, not mediumship lights, but real twinkly lights, and very nice aroma. So, I always look forward to solstice, the winter solstice in the northern hemisphere. I've just seen a bit's fallen off part of my equipment on the floor. Thank you. Chaos. Part of a light. We'll see. It's been one of those months. But yeah, I was looking down and thinking, what is that sort of thing on the floor? But I know what it is because it's fallen off before. As long as I can keep it, I can try and attach it. Anyway, distracted. Get Benji a wee pat here. Yeah, so solstice, winter solstice. I wanted to do solstice traditions, but I have videos up in previous years for solstice and Yule. So if you're really interested, just go on my channel and put in winter solstice or Yule, and a few of them should come up. To be honest, I think I've done 2 or 3. And the same with New Year. I wanted to do New Year traditions and magic. No, but there is one down there somewhere in amongst 900 videos, but it is there. So the videos I wanted to do are repetitions, probably ones I've already done, so I don't feel so bad. And we used to have a lot of family come over for solstice or round about solstice, but it will just be smaller family this year, and it'll be good, but it'll be reasonably quiet and possibly quite magical in a way. Jim and I enjoy it anyway. And then we've got family coming over between solstice and Christmas Day. Just about all the food in there. Just got some things that needs better dates on them to come, but I do like my festive season food. In fact, I think I could survive on panettone and roulade and turkey. Yeah. So there's kind of every year since a few years ago when we got snowed in the cottage and couldn't get out, and then COVID came and whatever, we realised we needed to be better prepared. So going into, maybe really harsher weather, it's actually quite cold here. We have the fuel oil and we have, we've got electricity, we've got plenty of food, we've got plenty of water, even water stored just in case the water freezes. So we're kind of, I feel very relaxed knowing that if we do get cut off or whatever for a week or 2 or even just a few days, that it will be fine. And I'm hoping that there was horrible kind of snow and ice in the lanes, and it is still very icy, but I can see that there's stuff moving outside now, so the odd tractor coming along. So I don't know if I want to risk driving in it, but I don't have to. And to be honest, I don't feel well enough to be driving at the moment anyway. I'm a wee bit overtired, and I don't drive when I'm like that. So yeah, and then Christmas is about the grandson this year. He'll be 4 next year, and we've got him a nice present and little things, and it's about the kids. It really is about the kids. I love the age that my grandson's at, because everything's so special. Although I would say he is a wee old soul. He's got a wee kind of, you can see he questions things in his head when you maybe say something to him as though, not sure about that. Are you having me on? So it's quite funny, because he's the sort of 3-year-old that's has got I kind of outlook like a wee old man at times. Is absolutely adorable. Absolutely. I don't put his photo or his name up online because that's a family private thing. So, but yeah, I'm so looking forward to seeing him open his presents. And then we normally the visitors that maybe could have come between the beginning of December and now that had to be put off will probably come between Christmas and New Year or whatever. Hogmanay and New Year. So I love Solstice. I love Christmas. New Year, I miss my mum and dad a lot. And much as though I, yeah, I'm very contented in myself. I'm very contented with my family, my life, the things that are there for us as a little kind of family and group and tribe almost. I'm very, very contented with my life on that level. I just think that New Year brings it that it's another year, and because the last few years with all sorts of things have been very difficult at times, I always think there's a kind of apprehension that's about New Year because you're very hopeful that you're going into something better. And further back, I would say there was that feeling and it would manifest, but the last maybe 4 or 5 years has been almost hoping and anticipating, and then we've been living in a very, very difficult time between pandemics and cost of living crisis and um, climate change, etc. So New Year, the last few years, I find myself becoming very traditional in a way that can be a bit maudlin, and I try not to be, but it's a bit like a cleansing. My dad had a beautiful little, just a normal little tiny whiskey top glass, um, a wee dram that he had, and we're a family that never really had a drink till midnight on Hogmanay New Year's Eve, and then this little thing was filled with whiskey, and it was something so associated with him that um, after he passed, that was the thing that I kept from him, and his jacket, but this little whiskey thing. And a few years ago, Jim said, you know, that's in their cabinet and it's beautiful, and I'd like to honour your dad because he has a wee whiskey tot at New Year. Um, would you mind if I used it? And I thought, oh, that would be lovely. Actually, I like the idea that the tradition of that little tot glass that I can see in my dad's hand now, actually is passed on. So now Jim has his little whiskey in my dad's little tot glass. Oh, and it's sweet. This is what I'm like at New Year. Oh, I'm hanky. I'll just need to blink. So New Year, I see like Jim drink out of the whiskey glass, and I'm like, this is lovely. And then I'm like, wow. So there's the anticipation of New Year. Oh, I'm emotional today. And then there's the memories. And those of you that have lost people, I think, no, we've all lost people, so nobody gets away without that kind of heartache. This will not do. But I know if I switch the camera off, I'll probably end up completing the video and start an upload or something. So anyway, so New Year, I go from the beginning of December like, Oh, and then the solstice, and yours is very, very well. It's very natural, earthy. You know, there's so much to do with nature and a sense of being within yourself, within your homes, and the view of the trees and everything. It's just gorgeous here. So and then Christmas is like about, you know, gift giving and family and food, and that's fine. And then we see people, and then Hogmanay comes, and I'm sort of waiting on the bells and thinking, oh, and then this happens every every year. So but we're normally in our own home, and we like to have family with their own people at New Year. But that, I mean, I think when you're older, a big New Year's party doesn't, it's not necessary. And the fact of our children and grandchild being asleep uh, and wakening up in their own houses in January the 1st, to me is nice. And New Year's Day is so quiet, and I find it from Hogmanay and the bells and everything being so emotional, and it can go one of either ways at that time. I can put on some really nice, gentle music and cuddle up with Jim and talk about memories and think of people that aren't there after we've got through on Zoom or whatever. Or I feel myself going a wee bit too low, and that's when the big country songs go on, you know, the very Scottishy songs that, you know, if anybody knows Big Country, a brilliant band. I've seen them live so many times. And just yesterday, actually, the lead singer, Stuart Adamson, I think it's his 21st anniversary of committing suicide. And that death struck me quite hard back then, because he looked as though he'd everything to live for. He's such a talented man, wrote amazing songs, really good guitarist, and it still couldn't overcome using alcohol as his crutch, basically. Poor man. So I think of him at kind of this time, because I was a huge Big Country fan. In fact, one of my daughters was in my belly cooking, about 8.5 month mark. And I went to see Big Country at a gig in Barrowlands in Glasgow. uh, and it was so good, but both my daughters kind of really like Big Country, and I think they were indoctrinated back then. It's just really, really good. It's just, if you want music for a kind of Scottish music but rock, they are stunning. And there's a few family links to some of the songs as well that are very powerful for me. So anyway, it can go that I decide that I've had enough and Big Country goes on. And then Jim and I can get very loud. But yeah, so New Year's Day, oh, this video will go on forever, but I don't care. New Year's Day is so quiet. A lot of the times, you know, weekends and even in winter, we've two stables at either side of our lane further down, so we tend to have horses and riders trotting along. And even in New Year's Day, that's just nothing moves, and I find it so soothing and so gentle. So I do tend to do an extra meditation on January the 1st. And not New Year's resolutions. No, 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 no. Nope, nope. That's the worst time to make a resolution. I might visualize some goals, um, but never, I will not do this, or I will do this on January the 1st. You're setting yourself up for failure, to be honest. Spring's the time for movement like that, not the dead of winter. Um, Follow the seasons, please. If you follow the seasons in life, generally, uh, you'll thrive. You will get there because you're following the natural rhythm of this good Mother Earth. So, follow the seasons wherever you are. So anyway, and then by the second, the third, we're normally got people dropping over or whatever. Now, what's happening after that is in January. I really have to finalise the novella to get it out for the deadline. So I'll be taking January off YouTube. All my focus, health willing, will be on the novella, and I thought it would be smaller than it was. It started off with, I think, three main stories running through it. It's all of the stories in the novella are linked to a place, and how that works. Oh, it's a bit confusing, but I'm thoroughly enjoying it. But I keep getting ideas for more connections to the place and more stories for it. So who knows? But by the end of January, I'm hoping to have completed a full first draft. My first drafts are not like a lot of writers. Their first draft is like just, it's not entirely good and loads of editing to be done. I tend to maybe write a chapter and I go back and edit it, and I visualize it, I change it around, and I'll maybe go back to it before I go into another chapter, so that by the time I've got the chapters and I feel the first draft is finished, it's almost halfway edited anyway, because I do it as I go along. Thanks to Grammarly and Microsoft Word editor. So yeah, January I won't be posting any videos unless it's something that I really want, maybe a short to show you something or whatever. But I'm not going to be on technology a lot in January, and I think a lot of us do get caught up with technology, and or maybe looking at news and this, that, next thing, and it's become a bit oppressive. I advise you to maybe do the same in January, to just cut down your time on social media. And then I'll be back probably the second week in February. I'll probably try and have another week off between finishing the writing aspect a week, and then back for YouTube. And there's things that are half written, like the mediumship recourse videos, and I'll look forward to coming back feeling fresh and ready with more what we call evergreen content, which is stuff that you can go back to and it's not dependent on a date or whatever. So I was hoping to do more before the end of the year, but this will probably be my last video, probably until about February now, although I would like to maybe hop on over Christmas and New Year and do a wee short, something like that. But so I'm just going to use this to ask you to enjoy your time. Whatever is going on round about you, maybe in family or in health or around the world, please, please, please try to find the beauty in all things. try to find harmony and balance. Because if you try hard enough, you can. And if it's something that's out with your control and you can't, then take a breath and leave it be. Push it away and have some time to create that beauty, balance and harmony within. I'll be thinking of you all. I'll definitely be sending a lot of prayers up. I'm hoping that you continue to use the prayer for world peace with the healing rose right through to after New Year, and back and forth again as much as you want. That rose carries a lot of energy. And remember, you can take energy out too if you're feeling not well. I hope you have a peaceful time. I know there's a lot of people suffering at the moment. There's a lot of people worried about money and heat and all sorts of things. Just remember that you're stronger than you know. I have great faith in the human spirit. I've watched people come through things that you wonder if you ever could. I've watched extreme sorrow. I've watched people lose family. I've watched people go through horrible things, and bit by bit that human spirit just keeps taking them forward, even if it's a breath at a time. So if you've been struggling and there's been something major has happened, if you've been bereaved in the last year, if you've had a bad health diagnosis, whatever, I'm not asking you to be, cheery Kate and dancing about. Be what you need to be. If you need to just have quiet time, then have it. But know that you are stronger than you know. At times we can really push ourselves through things that we never thought we could. And it's to do with that need to survive, that human instinct to keep going. It's like that film The Revenant. I think it's Leo DiCaprio, where so much happens but he just keeps going and he just keeps going. If you ever want inspired with a film about the human condition and human spirit, whether that's to survive or for a cause, watch that film. It's a bit gory, but it's fine. Anyway, this is going on forever, but I hope you're all good. I hope that you have a peaceful, quiet and safe time. I hope you are warm. I hope you have got enough food. And I hope you've got enough that you can also find it in your heart to give to others, because there's people worse off. I'll miss Nellie this year, first Christmas and New Year without her. And I hope Benji just keeps going. But it is a poor wee soul, and sometimes I wonder if I'm selfish hanging on to him. But I think I'll know when the time comes that maybe it's better just to let him go, but that time's not quite there for me yet. So let me know in the comments down below how you are, how you're doing, if you're looking forward to the festive season, and let me know if you are like me at New Year and quite cheerful. And know that I will be back in February. and I might pop on with the odd short or whatever, but I'm just going to use this to wish you all a very happy Yule, a Merry Christmas, and a very peaceful New Year. And I hope that in 2023 myself and Whitestorm can be here again to share love and any guidance that he gives me to give to you. So many blessings now. I'll miss you for a wee while, but I'll be back and I'll probably be rested and happier because I'll know that at least one book's coming out in 2023, probably two actually, but one maybe April and one maybe November. So send me a wee prayer to get on with that. Because I am a writer that does YouTube, not a YouTuber that does writing. You know, it's like writing is my my occupation. So anyway, many blessings now, and I'll see you in the new year. Bye now.